Wow, 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 wow. We are back at it again. The first normal day, I mean, it's the it's the first go away ads. No, we're playing control. We're gonna play the first control. Get ready for some competitive. Why did I get a gold skin for this guy? That's hot. Um, so it's the first like normal stream in a long time. In the regards of the fact that we are on time. Started at exactly 9 o'clock today. Um, but it's not gonna be a normal stream though. It's not. I am. I'm pretty. I'm in a weird funkadunkus mood, right? Like I don't know what happened, but today just put me in a funkadunkus mood. Um, my work is. I don't want to like boast about my work, but my work is pretty cool. Every like I want to say 3 or 4 months, my work sets. I said that right. Why am I second guessing myself? Every couple months or so, my work sets aside um, like a half day for you to like sit down and utilize the chance to like learn something or to like make something or to like do something in that regard, right? Where like you're doing something, right? That was today. Um, I got to sit down and run through at least a couple ideas for the logo for the stream. I'm still working on it. Probably going to be working on it for a month and pretend to have updates about it because I'm just lazy. Lazy and frankly don't have enough time. Why are these lit up? What? Whoa, 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 whoa. Why is E, R, F, O, and M lit up? Why does Apex think I need to know what those keys are doing? No! Um, so I sat down and I was able to work on the logo for a hot minute. That was my day. I still got like a decent amount of work done for work. I got like 70% of work done that I would do like on a normal day. Part of that is just because I got a pretty easy like thing to work on for work today, which I'm very happy about. But no, my bad aim is bad aim. Skadoot da doot da doot. Get out of there. Get out of there. Just gotta wait till I get lucky here, buddy. Ow. Where are they? Oh! Oh! Oh, I got him! What? I totally glacked that lifeline with the last bullet. Get glacked on! Blacka-tacka-racka. Um, I also felt like... so it's also, on top of that, it's also like time to recoup. Like, not to be like herpa-derpy, but like, it's like time to like sit down and like recenter, you know? Like put some time aside to sit down and like do something that you love so that you feel a little better, you know? That kind of thing, right? Um, and so I decided to just kind of like sit down and listen to some good music, and then I fell asleep for like 30 minutes. um, and then I sat down and worked on logo stuff for a while. Um, so yeah, that's what's what. So that was my day. So if you if you're wondering why my Delio Schlelio is so Delio Schlompulous, that's why. I got weird sleep in the middle of the day. That was probably not the world's best sleep in the world. Because of that, I've been feeling really wackety wonkety. Shua! We're doing really great. I didn't. Huh? Can I go up just here? I could just go up just right there. Where did that go? Where did that girl go? Where did that girl go? Can I not kill that? Is that a friendly? Oh, that guy got. We're doing good. No, that's not a friend. I didn't think it was. Okay. Alright. Alright. We almost got this. You know what I watched before stream today? I watched a VR experience on YouTube called A Date with Yoda. That's what I did today, y'all. That's what I do in my free time. I sit down and I watch videos on YouTube like A Date with Yoda. What are those goobers going all the way over to see? Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. No. These hooligans! Ah. 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 How'd he get out? No! You fricka loser! And nobody's trying to get their point back. What's going on with you guys? I have a shotgun. Oops. I guess it doesn't matter, really. I've done it. I have recaptured C. Ow! 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 Oh, we got her. Oh, she has good weapons. I want that. You lied. There's no one here. You lied to me, sir. There's nobody over here. You've done diddle dangus lied. Dangly dingless slide. Dingless pingless gringless slide. Spradiddly dangless. Look at all those goobers out there. I don't know if there's anything good. There probably is. Why did they put them all the way over here? In, like, the worst zone. Scout's probably better to go with. Oh, Scout. Better helmet. Well, since we have B so down, I might as well just grab the triple take. I used to duel people with the triple take way back in the day. Because it has a really good, like, spread shot when you get real close to people. And it used to have, I think it used to have a lot more damage too, because it was considered a sniper class weapon at the time, and not just like a ranger weapon.
God damn it.
Hell yeah.
Ah!
Those guys were ass.
So we just kind of like run into a room, right? And you'd have your triple take, and then you'd be like, "Oh, there's a guy." Then you'd like shoot at him, and you could do a lot of damage. I did nothing. I did nothing for the team. That's fine. All right, well we're all warmed up to go do competitive, right? What was that? What did just happen there? Sniper rifles. Scales and stripes. That's actually really cool. I mean, it's kind of lame considering that it's just a skin for the normal thing. Whereas this one's just straight up like a whole different deal. I don't know. Music back. Here we go. Low rank. Doing low rank game today. Low rank. Low rank. Low rank. We are in excellent condition for live. I wonder why Twitch does allow me to sit down and stream when nobody watches. I do wonder sometimes why Twitch is like, hey, check out this dingus. He hasn't gotten any views in like a month. So what are we doing? Giving him time on our platform, huh? Huh? It's okay. Well, one of these days we'll get around to it. One of these days we'll get people watching. It'll happen. It'll happen. Just you watch with your little watchy eyeballs. I'm the jump master. No, you're the jump master. You goobasy gombasy guckasy goobash grappash grappa. Hey, it's been a long time since we've been on this map. I don't think I've been on this map for a couple months now. It's just been stuffing me onto the new map. It's kind of interesting. You're dead to me! I don't wanna be the jump master. Jump mastering sucks. You're gonna get slow jump master then. That's on you. You're gonna get a slow jump master. We're going all the way over to that thing. And then we're gonna eat it. Alright, fine. We can go to that thing, why not? I don't care. Do I look like that kind of person who gives a flying frinkle dinkle? I don't think so. I'm not the kind of person who gives a flying frinkle dinkle. Frinkly dinkly dunkly dinkly donkus. Why is there no loot? There's seriously no loot on this entire thing. What? Was that a rampage? Girl, what? Girl, what are you on about? I need I need the thing. Yes. Yosh. We gotta go with Havoc. We're gonna go with L-Star. I don't know. Let's stick with the L-Star. Let's go with something new. Let's go with a new loadout, huh? Let's do something different, huh? Let's do something wild this time. Wraith just got. A lot of people just got, man. How are there so many people dying, but like every single time I play this thing, I get to like the last ring and there's 6 teams alive.
Yeah.
What do you mean you saw somebody? Oh, you didn't see anybody over there. You didn't see anyone over there. Don't lie to me. Don't pretend. Putting up some amateur cover. Ah, Spitfire. Wait, Spitfire is back? Wait a minute. I think they updated the game and I was not paying attention. That doesn't sound good.
Someone's broke.
Oh, that doesn't sound good at all. What's that? Gotta remember I gotta pick up other healing weapons. I'll get you with one of these little guys. One of them. Honestly, it's probably the better choice, but you took all the ammo. Maybe I should swap out for a sniper rifle. Uh-oh. Uh-oh! Where are they? Oh, they're over there, right there. Right there? Definitely was somebody on that staircase.
I need some battery.
Shield cell here.
I'll take it.
Yeah, thanks.
I need more sniper rifle.
Shoo shoo.
I need a better sniper rifle, thing. Pow! Is there somebody hiding at that door? No? Where'd they go? I don't know. I don't know where they are. Schmeal. I need optics. Cause I'm bad at aiming. Well, we need to go do something. We need to do something in this house. We need to do something in this house. We need to do something in this house. We need to get closer to the ring. Ring, 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 ring. Ring, 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 ring. Ring, 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 ring. That is my new song. We need to do something in this house. Ring a ring a ring. That's what kind of day it's gonna be today, boys! It's gonna be me just making funny noise. Pretending like I know what's what. I don't know what's what. Don't listen to me. I don't know what's what. I don't know what's what.
I spotted an enemy.
There we go. So they're over at the ice zone. Ice zone. Over at the ice zone. Ice zone. Zone in the ice. Zone in the ice. Frozen to... That's how you get through there, buddy. That's how you do that. I'm gonna thank you.
I spotted an enemy.
My Capitus lock is on. Well, watch over there.
I'm going to scan that area. Someone's been there.
Someone was behind us over there. They're still not even in the ring. Yeah, we gotta get in the ring. Gotta get in the ring, 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 ring. Ring-a-ling-a-ding-a-ling-a.
Somebody has already been over there. Pardon, I take that back. defend that section over there.
Let's see. Well, the chances of somebody coming up and over this ridge are pretty high.
I'm fencing.
Next ring's not very close.
Fence deployed. Anyone passes through here? We'll know.
Attention. Delivering replicator.
There's gotta be somebody close. There was somebody on that ice patch.
Come on, Blasey. I'm headed this way.
I wish that the amped charges just amped a certain amount of bullets, so you didn't have to sit there and like recharge it every time.
So that mates.
It just like gave you a certain number of bullets, which I know is like that would be kind of unfair because you could just like go and steal a bunch of the stuff.
This area has been traveled already.
Don't leave me down there.
You're not too noisy. Shush now. Setting a fence. The circuit is complete.
Where did it? Where are they, bud?
Kill the blocker.
Are they all over here?
Level 2.
I think somebody's trying to attack where we were.
Enemy over there.
Over where?
They spotted me. I'm taking a shot. The ring's closing in 1.
Oh yeah, they're right
Open
up
the
there.
portal. We need to push there. Open the portal.
Closing a tunnel.
That enemy shield is broken. Feel
Okay,
firing.
Portal plate.
just
Open the
tell.
portal. Go, go,
It's
go,
on
go.
a bit of a track, mate.
Reloading.
From another squad.
Getting shot at.
Back, 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 back.
Reloading.
Reloading.
Firing. Shot at. This time I'm down. Some blockers shooting at me. Giving my shield a recharge.
Oh! All right, that was. I blame that one completely on myself.
I'm covered for you.
Yeah, get him up.
Remember that.
Somebody's behind us.
Giving my shield a recharge. Recharging my shield.
Let's go there.
Care package.
Adversary near me.
Either care package is coming. I'm cover for you, mates. Broken enemy shield. Firing. Reloading. Now you good. Up and
No, don't heal me. Now I feel obligated to do something.
Healing up. Eyes are open now.
Putting up some amp cover. Give me a sec. Healing. This way, mates.
Okay.
Okay.
No, 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 too far, too far, too far, too far. We need to push T. We need to push this T.
Patching myself up.
Just topping off my shields.
Healing up. Hold on. Point running.
Taking a moment to heal up.
Healing up. Hold on. Hold on.
Okay, we're out of healing materials. And we're way behind. I have 30 something.
Healing. Enemy down.
So if we can get to that replicator that's right there.
Point running.
Uh,
I'm crafting.
oh, why didn't it?
Healing up. Hold on.
It killed me. No, get out.
Enemy down.
Get out.
This one's free.
Get out.
seconds till ring closure. We are so close. Just topping off my shields.
All right.
Might be something good this way.
Definitely, maybe.
10 seconds.
Come on,
The
Blondie,
ring is
I'm headed
close.
this way.
Enemy in sight.
But
Focus.
I broke an enemy's shield.
Putting up some amped cover.
We gotta make sure we get over this rock.
Go this way.
I'm going that way.
Attention.
Someone's been here.
Kill leader. Need to recharge my shields.
There's a new.
Giving my shields a recharge.
I think someone's already been there.
Target over there.
Opponent over here.
Amped cover for you.
Ah. That was really close to get really focused in on that one. Gold shielded up. Grab my gold stuff. I think I have good stuff. Am I still thinking about control? It might be. I don't have any heals, which is probably the most impertinent thing for them to be using right now. Did pretty good though. I got quite a bit of points.
I need help.
fuck.
I have a battery.
There's no way
I had shields.
he's good up.
I had shields.
We can. There's too much weapon. Can you open a portal to someone? Open portal.
Is he mocking the fact that I accidentally put a W in shields, or is he being legit? Why is it going that way? That's where the other dude was.
Thanks, yeah. Danger.
That's not a good idea.
Traps.
Yeah, don't do that again. No, he should have gotten through the
See
thing.
portal bug? I can't go in the portal.
See, this is what I'm talking about. It's like the last ring, and there's still 6 squads left.
Finish her.
It's ridiculous.
Get the portal.
How are there 6 people packed up into this tiny little section? It's probably because I'm terrible at aiming, but... Ah. Dang it. Why did we have to be the one to go? There were so many other squads. Alright. Let's try it again. Let's keep going again. Let's go at it again. Let's try it again. I got some stuff that I wasn't paying attention to. That's okay. Oh, I watched the Nintendo Direct. The like mini Nintendo Direct that came out. I fully forgot what they showed off. But I watched it. It came out. Hold on, let me pull it up on my phone. Nintendo
Not yet.
Direct. There was a mini one that came out.
I'm
Oh, Persona's gonna be on Switch. They're trying to get Persona on there. They have a new Mario Rabbids game, which I never played. That's planning on coming out here soon. Oh, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is coming out. I have yet to beat the Torna DLC though, so I don't know if I want to sit down and buy a game where I haven't really done much. So, yeah. Oh, Nier Automata is coming out on Switch too. Nier Automata. Nier Automata. That was a good game. Dude, that was a good game. That's the kind of game I wish that... Well, now that I have a decent capture card, maybe I could play Nier Automata on stream. The problem is that, like, I spent probably upwards of, like, 100 hours in Nier Automata. Maybe not 100 hours, but definitely a bunch of time on Nier Automata.
One landed near me. That's a scary fence.
Oh, I definitely got that grenade. I don't know what happened there. Uh-oh. Gotta go help our friend. Gotta go help our friend. Just gotta make sure I pick up some more equipment. Gonna come out of that corner. Okay, got him. Ah! Oh my gosh, the robot got me. Are you kidding me? Did I at least get the kill? I got the knock, I didn't get the kill? Oh, get out of town with this! Grenades need to kill downed people! That's ridiculous! I didn't lose too many points, so it's not that big of a deal, but... he wanted me to join him again? No, because then I'm gonna have to deal with him being, like, in my squad or whatever. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that, because then I'm gonna have to try and find how to get out of the squad once I'm done with the next game. Plus, I don't want to, like... I'm weird with it, where, like, I really don't want to, like, chat with people online. At least when I'm, like, playing games and stuff. Because here's my problem with it. I feel like the worst conversations to have with people online are the conversations where it's like half and half gameplay and just like, you know, normal everyday life, right? Those I think are like the absolute legitimate worst types of conversations to have, you know? Because it's so boring. Nothing ever happens in the conversation. And like you just kind of feel you feel like you're at a whim to the video game and not necessarily like trying to sit down and just like do something, you know? Which is why I try my best. This is a different kind of stream today. Today is a me stream. But any other day that I'm streaming, I try to make it like a conversation about something, you know? Like I don't really enjoy sitting down and just having an empty conversation about the video game. And I very much don't like having like half and half conversations. Haven't really done too well on that for my stream specifically, but it is still something I strive for. It's still something that I try and do a little bit better with. Hi. Hi. You a-holes? No! How did he down me? Get out of here, you rampage wielding a-hole. Get him! Yes. Was she hiding in that box the whole time? Because how did she get up? Oh, come on, Jujubee. Come on, Jujubee, you got it. I don't know where the third is. Man, another quick game. See, like right now, like I just did that right now, where it's like half and half gameplay and just kind of like talking. But that's just what I don't like, and I don't like going. He's still trying. No, thank you. That or it's the offer's still open. Um, but I just don't like those kinds of conversations with people, because like if it's gameplay only, I'm not a big fan of it, because it's like playing the game is fun, talking about the game is fun. Like if it's just like, oh man, go left, they're going that way, you know. That can be fun, but everybody has to be in on it, and everybody has to have a form of communication, and everybody has to want to talk like that and take it very seriously. If not everybody is like that, then it just sucks. I never want to be overly competitive talk, right? And so like for me it's like this just sucks. This just sucks. I don't like talking like that, you know. I don't like doing that like hyper gamer like he's going left. He's going left. Go get him. Ah. Yeah, right. I don't like that. I don't like that as much, right? But I do love like just having like normal decent conversation. And like almost nobody that I've ever met in their entire life could sit down and just have a normal conversation while we sit down and play video games. You know, it's always this like hyper competitive or like, you know, video game only centric like kind of talking, right? And then like half and half gaming, I've been able to find plenty of people who've been able to do something like that, but I've never been able to find anybody in life who just wants to sit down and have a decent, just normal, whatever conversation while we're, you know, sitting and just playing a game. Cool, you picked a building with just ammo and no weapons. This is a terrible pick. Yeah, no, we didn't get anything. But yeah, so. I probably will be half and half when I'm playing Apex in the future, just because
Feels that charge
it's
again.
kind of difficult
Inside the ring.
to really fully focus on a conversation when you're playing Apex. Because there is a lot of stuff that's happening around you, and it is quite a speedy kind of game. But for the most part, I would like to sit down and maybe have just decent normal conversations.
Give a shotgun here.
I already got a weapon. I just need more ammo. When did I get this cool skin? Is this even my skin? I don't even think this is my skin. I don't know when I got this skin. Wait, is that a... That is a triple take. Ooh! Thank you. I love the skin that I have on this. It's all sciencey and cool. Do you have... You do have energy ammo. Where are we going right now?
Light ammo here.
Plenty of ammo to go around the block.
Attention. There is a new kill leader.
Really? There's nobody within that close of a proximity, huh? That's wild. I definitely heard somebody nearby. There's no way. Dude, they up and bounce.
I hear you.
Did you really? There's really somebody in that building? Oh, there is.
Trouble. That enemy shield is broken. Fini.
I got him. He's cracked.
Reloading. I'm snared. We're inside the ring.
Oh, I got snared.
A second enemy attacking us.
Whoa! Dude, from where?
Thermite grenade set. Throwing arc star. I got some bad guys here. They're shooting at me. I will assist you.
What?
Grenade! Charging shield. Come on, come on.
Fence deployed. Laying fences. No more stones. We're a team of three now.
Oh! That's not fair. I was reloading. No! Reloading sucks. Reloading is the worst. That's why I like going for the LMG where you don't have to reload. Because you just die. You just die when you reload like that, man. Sucks. Sucks. I tried just pulling up to see if anybody had a Oh, I'm on page 2. Why am I on page 2? Kotaku! This is not endorsed by Kotaku. Oh, they showed off a lot of Sunbreak stuff. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak in the Nintendo Situazione. What the goobus? What kind of skin was that? That was like some
This is more than
oh, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers kind of thing. What is that other dude though?
I am prepared.
Mega Man? Not Mega Man. Mega Man's what I'm looking at. Ultraman. That was some Ultraman looking skin for that character. Excuse me. But yeah, they did show off Mega Man. Showed off Bomberman, which just whatever. Pac-Man World Repack. Blanc looked interesting, but kind of like whatever. Monkey Island. People really love the Monkey Island games. I can't really say anything about it because I've never played any of them. Railgrade. That looked kind of interesting. Oh, they showed off the Sonic Frontiers game. Yeah. So here's my thing with Sonic, and here's why I've always kind of been a little upsetty spaghetti. I first got into Sonic. Oh, I first got into Sonic way back in the GameCube era, right? Those were the best Sonic games. That's been more or less determined by the community at large
That's a
and just people in general, right? I have never heard another opinion other than the fact that like everybody applauds the GameCube games. They think that they're the world's best. I honestly, frankly, on some level can agree because I have not had a good Sonic experience outside of the GameCube games, right? It just hasn't happened. So I really don't know what to say sometimes. Oh, L-Star. I haven't been able to find any good ammo or any good ammo. I haven't been able to find any good ammo. Actually, I haven't found any ammo for it, if I'm being honest. I want to swap out my... Oh, there's some ammo. There's some ammo.
ammo here.
Raw. I want to stick with the R99. I feel very confident with the R99. Not that I'm great with it, but I feel pretty confident with it. When my adrenaline's pumping, I'm good. But I haven't had a good experience with Sonic outside of the GameCube games. You have Sonic Adventure Battle 2 and Sonic Adventure DX Director's Cut, which is what I think the DX stands for, Director's / Cut, right? Like, as an X, right? That's a story for a different day as to why X's are used for slashes, which is that has a dark turn in my life. I could talk about that in a minute, but
A few more meters.
those two games are the best games that people have ever said have come out of Sonic, and frankly, I agree. They have a lot going for them. There's a lot of stuff that you could do in the game, and in whatever subsequent games, you know. And they have just never gone back to it. They've just never gone back to that style of gameplay where it's like kind of decent, you know. I don't want to do shotgun, but we're going to, I guess. So that's why, frankly, I've been kind of upset at the state of affairs of Sonic. Is because they have not, for the life of them, ever sit there and go, oh, hey, maybe these games that people say they think is the best thing in the world, maybe we should go back and make more of those. Right? Like, it's just like, oh, no, we're not going to make any more of those kinds of games now. Right? And it's like, are you kidding me? Right? And the best feature that I think they've ever had in any Sonic game was, like, the Chow Garden. They have not brought that back. They have not brought back the Chow Garden whatsoever. Are you gonna... Ooh, I got a couple tags off on him.
Shield crack.
Yeah. Doing pretty good on keeping him at bay this time. He's got purple shields, though. Oh, no. Oh, my other guy got? Are you kidding me? Is he trying to throw grenades at me? He's trying to throw grenades at me when he's in my zone. Oh my gosh. My team just got flattened. Pangu didn't do more than 9 damage! Pangu! Alright, we're coming up on about 50 minutes for Apex, so I think we're going to play about one more round. Hopefully, we come out net positive. It looks like it's taking a lot less points away this time. I don't know if it's just that I'm doing better or what, but it seems like it takes away a lot less points now for some reason. Like the entry is not as much. It's 5 points. I think it used to be like 10 or something. View all entry costs. It used to be a lot higher. I remember that. But this new Sonic game that they have coming out, it just looks boring. Right? Am I wrong with that? It just looks boring. It looks like they just went into Unity or they went into, Unreal Engine, and they just took the terrain and they just used the little bubble tool to like bring it up, you know? Just like to bubble up a little terrain and be like, whoa, check it out. Some new Sonic terrain, you know? Right? That's literally what it looks like. It looks like they literally just did that. They just made Sonic with whatever physics that they've used in the past couple games, and then they just put it in a sandbox and just like bubbled up some of the terrain, you know? And I know it's like, oh, well, that still requires a lot of, work and effort and stuff. And it's like, no, it doesn't. I get so annoyed with big companies when they sit down and they release things like Sonic, or they release, frankly, and even though I love the game, Breath of the Wild, there are some zones in Breath of the Wild that really feel like somebody just took a paintbrush to the terrain and just kind of let it happen. Not everywhere. It's not something that's everywhere, right? Like, I'm going to say 80% of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is beautiful, and it looks all hand done and just incredible. But there are some mountains, right, where it's like, oh, they just like took the paintbrush and then like brought up the terrain, right? And then they took another paintbrush and they just set that to a specific height, right? Like there are some small little bits of the game, especially around the outer edge of the game, where it looks like they literally just took a little bubble tool and were just like, oh, I'll raise the terrain there, which isn't a knock on the game because they still did a lot of extra stuff with it. But that's where my secondary complaint with Sonic kind of comes in. It doesn't look like they did much for like the core gameplay outside of that. It literally looks like the only thing they did was sit down and gotta make sure I don't die. Oh, how did he get a purple shield? Are you kidding me? They're all there. They're all there. I guess we'll do one more round because these guys are gonna get flattened here. It's gonna be game over. Unless this Hitman can live up to his name. Unless this Hitman can live up to his name. Nope. Alright. Alright. Hitman cannot live up to his name. Okay. But yes. So it looks like they just didn't do anything. It looks like they literally had the programming team sit down and just program a couple good mechanics that worked well in a sandbox, and then they were like, "Oh man, what do we gotta? We gotta do something now." And then they just like threw in and like just edited the sandbox a little. It really literally looks like they didn't do anything to it, right? Like, if you look at Elden Ring, and I know it's not the world's best, cross example, but almost every piece of terrain in Elden Ring, even though they used a lot of proceduralization and they used a lot of like just like reused assets in the game. Like, there's so many reused assets everywhere in that game, Elden Ring. But even though they reused like hundreds, if not thousands of assets through a large majority of the game, every piece of terrain and tree and like rock, every piece of that game feels intentional. It feels like somebody sat there and was like, okay, let me put a couple trees down, see how it looks. And then they went into the game and they like looked around as the player and they were like, this tree, this tree, this tree, it doesn't work, let's get rid of it, let's move this tree over. It looks like somebody sat down and thought about it, right? With Sonic, it literally just looks like somebody went into Unity and used the tree paintbrush and it was like, that'll work, put a tree right there. Let's put a rock right there, yeah. Oh, rails? Like the game designers, like the programmers were able to program in rails for the game? Okay, we'll throw some rails just in the game. We're not going to think about, like, what those rails could be or represent or, like, why they exist in the world that they exist in. No! Screw it. We'll just have a bunch of floating rails everywhere in the game. And I know there's a lot of people who sit back and they're like, oh, you got to look at the gameplay for all of the gameplay. It actually looks pretty good, and it's like, it looks mediocre at best. It looks like a B-lister title, man. It doesn't look like something that's, like, overly worth my time. Oh, that was not. Okay, got her. Goodness. There's a sniper woman over here. Don't have any. I don't have any grenades.
I downed a hostile.
That's a high. The fence is complete. And fencing. Enemy right here.
Gosh dang it. Gosh dang it. No! You dingus! Why do you have zero idea what's happening around you? How? This guy, JT, he had a freaking ability that showed him where everybody was, and the other guy, he had no other we gotta play another round. We lost again in the first, like, 2 minutes. We gotta play another round, because we keep getting people who drop us in crazy places. But yeah, it looks... It really honestly looks like the game designers just didn't do anything. And I'm getting really, frankly, a little tired of it. Right? And it's really starting to show either where the management of these people is, like, not working out, or, like, the education of these people is just not as great. And I'm not trying to, like, knock them. They work incredibly hard, right? Like, the product that they released with Sonic, there were probably a lot of people who stayed up, like, night and day and were, like, terrified. I'm not gonna, like, give them a hard time, but it is starting to kind of show where certain companies have priorities and where certain companies are not starting to have priorities, right? Like Sonic Company, they have zero priority over, like, quality in their, like, graphic department, you know? Right? It's just like they have solid programmers, which I know might seem like a joke because of, you know, Sonic Boom and all these other games that have come out recently. But I feel like they have had a good slew of good programmers go through their doors at Sega. I feel like they have had a lot of great artists, right? Like a lot of incredible artists go through the doors at Sega. And I feel like they have had a lot of great game designers go through. But I feel like every time I play a newer Sonic game, it feels to me like the producers got their hands on it, you know? Like the producer, like they sat down and made a great game and it, like, worked well, but then some producer came in and was like, oh, well, Sonic can't do this, right? Like, studies have shown, you know, through our product testing that, like, people don't like when Sonic does this. So Sonic can't do that, you know? I get the inkling, like, every single time I play a new Sonic game, that's what happens, you know? Is you have maybe these incredibly talented people who sit down and work really hard on the game, but then just, like, some producer level person comes in and goes, Sonic shouldn't do that, though, right? Like, Sonic shouldn't be able to, like, you know, use this certain attack, right? You know, right? Like, Sonic is blue. If Sonic experiments with any color other than blue, it's just, you can't do it. You can't do that. Sonic's got to be blue. Every ability Sonic has to be blue. You know, right? Which I know is maybe not the best example of, like, you know, somebody probably going mad, like a producer. Because they did have Sonic Colors, frankly, which they had a bunch of different abilities that changed Sonic's color and everything. But it's just, I feel like that element of somebody getting involved in the game where they shouldn't be is just always present in every Sonic game I've ever played in the last, like, 10, 15 years, you know? I feel like literally there's these producers that just, like, have a chokehold on the game, and they're just like, nope, the game's got to be like this, you know? Sonic's got to do this. He's got to be this guy, you know? Because they haven't really experimented with Sonic's, like, personality, right? They haven't experimented with his personality. They haven't experimented with anything, right? It's just Sonic runs kind of fast and then sometimes really slow, right? Like, that's literally everything that they've ever thought about with Sonic, right? And I feel like that's why they've been held back for so long, is because, again, either there's some dude who's sitting there going, I know what's what for Sonic, I know what the fans are going to want, you know? And then they, you know, maybe they're somewhat right with that, and the fans do, quote unquote, want what, you know, this person's putting forward, but, you know, they really need to start kind of broadening out their horizons with Sonic, because it's not been a compelling game, you know? And I know that's like, I guess that's not like a controversial opinion. There's a lot of people who kind of like look at the Sonic games and go, yeah, I could spend my time doing something else, you know? Right? And that's like, and that's really sad, frankly. I really do truly think that's sad. I think it's really, really sad that Sonic has just been kind of like treated as a secondary kind of like reality to his own existence, you know? Right? Like, Sonic doesn't get to like evolve or change or anything, right? You know, and it's just, I don't know. I don't know, man. And, you know, I have met creative types like that before, that it does make sense to me why Sonic hasn't really changed or evolved or gotten much better, is because, right, like, I've met some creative types of people who are basically just like, they go and they just like, they wing it, you know? They have some select idea of morals, or like code of operations, or like a series of thoughts in their head about, you know, what certain people like, you know, right? Like, so for example, like, oh, kids love like dinosaurs and stuff, right? Like, that would make a lot of sense to somebody with this like personality, right? Like, ah, man, kids love dinosaurs, so if we're gonna make something for kids, there's got to be dinosaurs involved, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like that old like 80s style, like, if we make it, people will come, right? You know? I feel like there's a lot of that kind of stuff that might be happening too, right? Like, there might be like a director who's like, but what people love about Sonic is that, like, they love this, you know, arbitrary part of Sonic, right? You know, and it's like, that's not important to Sonic or telling the story of Sonic, you know? Or like having a compelling form of gameplay, you know? And it's like, oh, no. But people like that though, right? You know, and it's like, sure, you know? and it's really hard because like Sonic, I feel like all the Sonic games, even the ones that I'm criticizing, you know, I feel like there's always like 50% of it that they do really well. I feel like, because like this new Sonic game that's coming out, I feel as though 50% of it is probably going to be just bomb. It's just going to be awesome, you know? But that's really hard to put a metric on, because it's not really like, you know, we haven't seen it, right? We haven't had anybody play the game. But like, I get this inclination that with Sonic, there's going to be like, I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be like the environments of the game are great, you know? Or if it's going to be like, oh, it's not the environments that are great, you know, it's the programming and Sonic's, you know, movability, like his mechanics are going to be great, right? Like, that's very well possible, you know? But that'll be like 50% of the game, you know? Where, like, you know, where's the other 50%? Like, what happened to the other 50%? Why does the environment look like a big open Unity sandbox? You know what I mean? Right? Like, why is it so hard to, like, really put pieces together with this, you know?
I spotted
But so yeah, long story short, that's where a large portion of my struggles with Sonic kind of come from.
Downs an adversary.
Is that there is some piece in the Sonic key that's just not working. And nobody wants to own up to it. And that's just making Sonic this just
With an adversary.
kind of whatever game at the end of the day, you know?
Double timing it. Ambush! Ambush! There's another squad! Off the right. Spotted.
Throwing an axe. Iron versus stone. Throwing. Nathan.
I'm taking fire. Grenade incoming. I shot at an enemy shield.
This guy had a lot of grenades. Oh, oh! Get out of there.
Enemy right here. Enemy right here.
At least we're doing pretty good. I got 15 points going on.
Hop in the chimney.
Get out of there, guy. Go!
Give my shield a recharge.
Oh no, he knows where I am. He knows where I be. I'm being hypercritical. End of the day, I love Sonic, right? Like, if there's any takeaways from this, I love Sonic, and that's why I really want Sonic to be a better game. I want Sonic to be a better game, a better experience, but like, they just, it feels like they always, like, fail in some 50%, you know? Right? Like, even in the games that I love, I feel like they still, like, fail at a certain level and a certain amount, right? Like, even if you go back to Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, right? Like, where do I feel like they failed with that, right? Like, they didn't really, you know, they didn't really give you much of a chance to kind of, like, explore or really, like, look at things for, you know, extended periods of time without feeling like, I gotta get to the next level, you know? And then, like, the Knuckles levels, right? Like, even though those were fun, right? Like, there was a lot of stuff that was just kind of weird. And I feel like a lot of the elements of that game became esoteric at some points, you know? That were just not really the best. I think I just hurt my nose. I, like, brought my thumb up close to my nose because I was just, like, itching it. And I, like, cracked a little. It was being weird. I don't like that. But we're going to go ahead and call it a night with Apex Legends. We're going to move on to something else. What exactly? I don't know. What exactly? I don't know. I just showed off my whole friends list. If you want to send one of my friends the friend chat thing, go for it. I don't even think half of the people on that list are people I know. But anyway, so I think I'm done talking about Sonic one way or another anyway, because like it's a game that I really love, but I feel like they've messed it up in plenty of ways that I feel like are quite troubling. So I want this new game to be great. Here's what I want. I want people to sit down, buy the game, and be like, this is the best Sonic game that has ever been released. You know? That's what I really actually want. But if you look at the gameplay demo, they have, or not the gameplay demo, but like the trailer, they show off literally like 2 enemies. They show off literally like 2 enemies. You know? Right? That's it. They show off like basically 2 enemies. And that's the whole thing, the whole kit and caboodle, you know? Right? There's like almost no effort into the environment. The programmers did really great. The artists did really great. But it feels like their environmental team just kind of quit halfway through the game. You know, where it's like, oh, we'll just buy a couple trees on, you know, an asset store and just throw that in the game, you know? That's what it feels like, which is why I just kind of I really don't think the newest Sonic game is going to really be the world's best. I don't know. Which I'm really tired of. I'm really tired of Sonic being a boring company thing, where like bureaucratic people come in and say, this is how Sonic has to be. And then Sonic ends up just being boring. And I really don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. I would not be able to say anything about it unless I worked for the company. Like I really wouldn't know. I want it to be a great game, and I don't know why they keep having small aspects of, either like management decisions or time decisions. Because it might even be just as simple as that. It might just be that like they like underestimated how much time it would take to do certain things, and that ends up making it so they have to cut a lot of stuff to the game, right? But there's a possibility of that too, right? Like there's a possibility with this new game that like everybody was straight lacing like 100% through with it, and they were all great and they all worked really hard and it was all incredible, but just like they way underestimated how much time they had to accomplish certain tasks and to deliver on certain features, and so maybe that's just what it is. It's just that it's like we had a lot of features planned, but most of them got cut because implementing Sonic into an open world was just too difficult, and that took so much more time, right? Or like the fighting mechanics took much longer than we anticipated because there's a whole bunch of new animations for Sonic we had to sit and put together, or like there's a number of things that probably could have happened in regards to that, but I don't know. It really just kind of looks empty to me, and frankly, I feel like it's I've seen like I've seen uh games come out that like people have made that are like fan made things that even though they are largely empty and they are like empty open world experiences, they still feel great. I don't know what it is about like fan content creators, but it feels like fan content creators are making the game a lot better in some regards than certain elements of what they've released in the last 10, 15 years of Sonic. But I don't know. I really think what they need to do is go back to the drawing board. Not with the new game, all right? Like the new game's coming out, that's just gonna happen. But they need to do what Mario is doing, and I know they probably don't really want to hear that, but like they need to do what Mario and Legend of Zelda is doing, where they sit down and they go back to scratch, like go back to square one, right? Like imagine no 3D Sonic games have ever been released, and we're going to make a new 3D game based off of what we know about the game from the 2D games, right? Like let's go back to the drawing board, right? Like I think if they did something like that, they would really be able to come out with something incredible. And if they really like opened up the team and said, producers, you do your job of just getting us money and making sure we're hitting our goals. Directors, you just make sure all the pieces are coming together in the right way. And like, everybody else on the team, right, just execute, right? And there's a lot more to it, I'm sure, but like I find that one of the Legend of Zelda interviews that I heard uh, probably puts it forward the best, and I think it might be what's happening with it. But what they did is they started their normal development. They did all their like pre-alpha kind of stuff, where they put it all together. They were kind of formulating the ideas. But as they started to get through the game more and more, what they had everybody do is, hey, what's going on, Silver Sand? I'm talking about, well, I was talking about the new Sonic game that they released a couple more new details on with the Nintendo Direct Mini thing that they had today. I think it was today or yesterday. But I was talking about how like there is this process that they went through with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, where once they started to get into like beta releases of the game, what they did was they started to I have Apex up. I might as well just play one more game or something like that. But what they started to do is they had this anonymous like feedback that they would just be able to put into the game, you know? So like if you were like a beta tester, you know, like if anybody who was working on the game who had a chance to play it, right? They could sit down and put this like anonymous little note into the game that says this small little section of the game doesn't really work for me, you know? Like this puzzle isn't really that great, or like, you know, this area doesn't feel fleshed out or whatever, right? Or like it took too long to walk from point A to point B or something. You know, like anything that they wanted to say, right? Like this part of the game wasn't fun, you know. And what they started to realize, and what the like senior level people on the project started to realize, is that like there's a lot of feedback that they got from people who were making Legend of Zelda, that was completely not in line with how that they've been developing the game in the past, you know, where they had like a set dungeon and then you got from A to B in the dungeon, you know, right? And so like all these senior guys were sitting there going like, "Oh man, we're getting all this great feedback about like how we've been developing the game has like not been what people have wanted, you know?" Like what people on the team don't want. And so then the senior staff started to sit there and go, "Oh, we got to start switching up the way that we develop these games or something, because these people do not like the way that we're developing it, and they don't think it's fun. Like the people who are building it don't think it's a fun game, like in this section or in that section, you know." And so they went through like a billion different iteration processes where they sat down, people sat and put anonymous tips in where they felt like the game wasn't as strong or wasn't good. And they all sat down and played the game front to back. Like every single time, like every couple of months, every new build that they had people play the game front to back and then like leave little notes about like how the game was doing, you know? And I feel like that's something that it's an approach that I feel like if they did with this new Sonic game, they probably would be able to find a lot of people in their departments that sit there and go, "This isn't really that fun." You know, like this section of the game isn't really that fun. This section of the game is like so-so, you know? But it takes a level of commitment that I don't know if the upper echelons of Sega want to commit to. And you know, it's kind of sad because Sonic used to be a really great game, and I'm not even talking about the 2D Sonics, right? Like again, going back to the like GameCube, Sonic was a pretty great game, you know? Like there were a lot of good things that happened in those games. But we're never going to see something like that again unless they sit down and start figuring out where in their production chain these games start to not have issues, you know? Because like I was talking about earlier, like there's always 50% of the game that they do really well on, but then there's 50% of the game that they just don't do anything about, and it just turns out terrible. And I think the 50% of that this time is just the environment. It really looks like the environment is just 50%, you know? It honestly really does look like they went to like the Unity store or the Epic's game store or whatever. I don't know what the equivalent for Epic is. And they just like bought assets and then they had their programmers do what they needed to do. That's really 100% what it feels like happened. Which is, it's just really sad. It does it. It looks fun, but it looks like it could have been a lot better of a game. So yeah. I still haven't seen anything new about Bayonetta in a while, though. That's what I wanted to see them like talk about a little bit more. Was there 2 Valkyries just then? I want to see more Bayonetta because that game looks great. Even if Bayonetta like fails in some regard, they always pull off. See, and maybe that's the thing too, is that like Sonic always changes what they do good and what they do bad. Like Sonic Adventure Battle 2, I felt like a lot of the environments in that game were great, you know? But then like there were, you know, some slow parts of the game where the story was weird or whatever, you know? And it just feels weird sometimes, you know? Sorry, I just read your comment. But yeah, it's
An adversary.
but like Bayonetta, right? Like one way or another you're gonna get great gameplay, right? Like Bayonetta's gonna be flipping around and doing what she needs to do. You know? Like they could make a Bayonetta with a terrible environment, but it wouldn't matter. Because Bayonetta is still, you know, this game where there's some high-flying flipping girl, you know? They could literally fail in every other aspect of the game, and I would still want to buy a Bayonetta game. You know? But like Sonic, they're just so picky and choosy about what they want to be good with and what they're not good with. Oh. So, that's why I always struggle with Sonic, and that's why I don't know if I want to buy the new Sonic game. Did we take him out? You guys just left him here?
I took out an enemy.
Oh. Ah, got him.
Spoken. See me.
Oh, I eliminated him. Nice.
Healing my wounds. People have been there.
There's probably somebody behind us, though. Yeah. Let's go ahead and get that back. And then are you gonna take that? Sniper? Oh, he's looking at the other one. But yeah, so I do want them to show more Legend of Zelda, though. I feel like they haven't shown anything on Legend of Zelda, or Metroid Prime is the other one that they haven't shown anything on. I kind of knew that this year wasn't going to be... Everybody's been loving what's been coming out with this year, and frankly, more power to them. But I have been in kind of this bucket where I feel like there hasn't really been a whole lot of great Nintendo experiences this year. They haven't really like done any hard hitter games recently. It's just kind of been like sideline Mario games and like a couple other big titles that are good, but they just, excuse me, they haven't like put more time or focus or energy into. Or sorry, no, they're great games. I'm struggling to remember what games have come out this year. But that, you know, that I guess that's my point, right? Like I'm struggling to think about what games have come out this year. Right? I don't know if I've really seen a whole lot of crazy great Nintendo games coming out, which is why I really want to see them pull out games like you know, I don't know, like F-Zero GX or something, you know? Like I would love for them to come out with another F-Zero title.
Reloading.
But it's gonna be a while before we see something like that, you know? Or like a new Star Fox game that's compelling. Right? Or... Oh. What is this guy doing? What is this Joker doing? Oh!
I think someone's already been there.
Reloading.
That's where his last teammate is, I'm pretty sure. Just hiding behind that box. He's just hiding behind that box! Unless he moved. I don't think he moved. He's just kind of hiding behind the box. Listen, I want Star Fox more than anything. That's partly why my name is Beryllium Fox, because the Star Fox games just defined my childhood. They were such good games. Ugh. But the last one that they released was like Zero, I think. Star Fox Zero. And it had the wonkiest control scheme ever. And nobody liked it. Oh, here he goes. He's got a spy on him. He's coming up to try and get his friends.
Crashing and burning over here.
How'd he get purple shields that quick? That's the last guy. Yeah, they got Star Fox. I didn't even play Star Fox Zero. It was basically just a rehash of oh, it was a rehash of 64, but they like tried to recreate the game or something, like redo it. Basically, kind of like how Final Fantasy redid their Final Fantasy VII or something. Basically like that. They tried to sit down and redo the game, and it looked like fun, but it looked like they focused way too much on the gimmicky sort of side of it. And that, I feel like, kind of killed it at the end of the day. We gotta get moving here, guys. Boop. And then we can get full up on just a little bit more of that. Okay. I think we're good. I don't think there's too much more. Unless this guy had something. No? Was that even his box? Oh well, who cares? We have plenty of healing, we have plenty of ammo. Oh. I mean, you can, but the ring is going to be closing soon. I don't think I can do anything with these, can I? Oh, Valkyrie. Valkyrie is the, she's one of the... Oh, what kind of class is it? Valkyrie is the class that you can sit down and, like, look at that kind of thing. Scout class.
Ready to scorch for burn.
Okay. I don't think she can cancel her ultimate, so... Guess we're just gotta commit to it, huh? And you know, there's another thing about Nintendo that I feel like is kind of difficult to grapple with. I feel like Nintendo hasn't really put much effort into their, like, secondary games. So, for example, in Super Smash Bros., ever since the Wii, right, like like Brawl, like 10, 15 years ago, they have only had one Kid Icarus game called Kid Icarus Uprising that has come out since Brawl, like 10-something odd years ago. And he's just still in all of the games. He's just in this, like, meta state of, like, being in all the Brawl games, you know? They didn't, like, take his moveset or, like, you know, something in that regard and try and, like, make it so that he like, was a different character or something, you know? They didn't do anything like that. They just sat there and were like, oh, this is a character that's been in the, you know, previous Brawl, you know, Smash Brothers games. We gotta keep him in, you know? And it's like, no, make a game for the poor guy, right? Like, he hasn't had a title in, dude, forever, honestly. Where are they? You guys left the gold shield there. There he is. Get out of there, you a-hole. What are you doing sniping us? Oh, he's gonna go for the gold shield, huh? He dipped off, though. Oh. He's standing still, but... I'm like out in the open. This is not the world's best position to be in. Oh, are they being triple teamed? I think they are. I think they got another team on him. Yeah. This is incredible. This is a great position to be in. Another team just decided to sit and do something about it. Oops, that didn't go far.
/1, bogey down.
Oh, that's just somebody who's downed already. What are they doing? Oh, they're getting somebody up.
I see an opponent.
Deploying me knuckle cluster.
Just keep standing there. Oh, keep standing there.
Shield.
Just keep standing there.
Stand back. Knuckle cluster's firing.
Someone's been there.
Reloading.
Who's down there that they're
Arcstar going long.
at lifeline?
Firing Arcstar. Launching me.
Someone else has crossed through here. Enemy in sight.
Joker's shooting at me.
Oh, we gotta go stop him.
Cracked shields on that bandit. Reloading.
Oh, there's that Jeb.
Broke that enemy. Reload. Check it out. Care package.
Oh, dang it. He got the Gibraltar. Oh, oh, ow! Oh, that doesn't hurt you anymore? That used to always hurt you. No matter what. Oh, come on. Come on, jump off. Go get got by my friends.
Enemy got here.
Box 3, launching missiles.
That enemy shield is broken.
You naughty person, you.
Under fire.
How did you get down and from where? Okay, this has started to turn into a bad place to be. Oh. Ah. Oh, that was the last team. That was the last team. We almost got it. We almost got it. Oh man, I think we're gonna switch off to something else here for a minute. Apex has been great for the night, but I think we're done with our competitive section. I kind of do just want to play Elden Ring. I kind of do just want to sit down, because if I sit down and I play more Kirby, then I'm gonna have to sit down and plug in my capture card, like get that all sorted out. Yeah. No, you know what? I kind of wanted to see how fast I can beat Elden Ring, because we sat down and we got, yeah, it's kind of a shame we lost. I did get a lot of points though. I'm almost out of bronze 4 now. After all these streams, I think I'm gonna sit down and play Elden Ring. I want to see how fast I can get through Elden Ring. Now that I'm in the 3rd playthrough, I want to see how fast I can get it done. Because just I don't know. We got to do it. There's so much more that I can do in Elden Ring on my 2nd playthrough, and so many more like resources that I could go and pick up, but I really kind of just want to go into New Game Plus Plus and see how fast I can beat it. See if I can get that final achievement in it for the last win, the last ending. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and take a break. I am not a doctor, nor am I offering medical advice. If you have any medical problems, you should go ahead and reach out to one of them. But you know what time of stream it is. Since we're doing a break, I'm going to put pressure on the big 3 things that I love to put pressure on. The first thing is, if you haven't stood up in a while, that's the first thing I like to put pressure on. It's a thing. You should stand up every once in a while. I've struggled with that quite a lot in my life. If you stand up, you can prevent a lot of different things like blood clots. I always typically use it as a chance to just kind of like just walk away, kind of like air out the zone, kind of get rid of sweat, pick up different things that are on my desk that are just cluttering stuff up and trash and whatever. So it's something that I like to put pressure on because it's one small little healthy thing that we can all sit down and try to do a little bit better. I know I certainly am trying to work better on that. But as another thing that you can do while you're standing up, if this is the second thing I like to put pressure on, is getting some water with you. Water is very important. I have solved a lot of problems in my life by just staying hydrated. So just have some water with you. If you're getting the chance to get up and you don't have water at your desk or wherever you're watching this, go grab some water. It's something that I think might help you out. Even if you're not thirsty, it still feels incredibly good to go get some water and have it with you. The last thing, and I haven't been bringing this up as much with like sort of the breakaway, is to make sure you get good sleep. I'm not going to go too far into depth with it because I'm going to bring it up again at the very end of the stream, but that is the third thing I like to put pressure on. I have been able to equally solve as many problems in my life by just having a good sleep schedule. So we are not ending the stream indefinitely. I'm just ending this section of the stream so that it's easy to break up and send the VODs over to YouTube. I know that Twitch is a little bit better with it now that it has like chapters. If you like just switch off what you're doing while you stream, it has like little chapters and stuff. But the VODs still show as like the primary thing that you did for the stream. And I feel like there's a chance that somebody might sit down and want to watch a VOD of just me sitting down and playing like Elden Ring or playing Apex or playing Kirby or something like that. So I like to sit down and break them up. So we're going to go ahead and have like another 10-minute little break while I sit and get set up for Elden Ring. And then we will be back. So stay tuned. I will anticipate seeing you guys, and I love seeing you there. I love seeing you come back, Silver Sand. It's really good to see you in the stream. We did almost. That was actually probably the best round that you came in to watch. Every other round today has kind of just been gross and weird, and probably just because I've been in a gross, weird kind of mood and feeling today. I have more to add to that in the next coming stream, so look forward to that. There's details as to why I've kind of felt weird and off today. That I will expand upon in the next stream. Probably not too much. It's not going to be like an hour-long conversation, but another small little thing. Yeah, smile face. I love seeing you there, man. But we will be back. I'm going to definitely end this here and give us all a little 10-minute break here. So stay tuned.